right, guys, thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel. And I can't tell you how important it is to click and subscribe that button below. It's Karen. It's here to stay, darling. YouTube is here. And today I have a very special guest, Tatiana. You all know her. She's famous. What can I say? But she has all these questions for me about Real Housewives of Potomac. And what I wanted to do was use my channel this year to just really let you guys know what I'm feeling about what I'm watching and to give you my point of view. So I know 3 episodes has already gone by, and I want to get into it with Tati because she has been blowing up my phone like, girl, let's do this. So Tati, take it away. What you got for me, baby? Come at me.
So many questions. I think that the first thing we need to figure out, is Ray okay after being groped on national television?
Not groped. Okay, listen. Ray's okay. But I'm not okay now that a few episodes have gone by. And I can't ignore the difference in when my husband was pinched on the behind and Giselle was asked to go into a room and have a conversation with a dear friend of hers. And the alarms have been sounded in a way for Giselle that I think were unnecessary, if you will. But Ray got nothing. Everyone laughed it off. How did you feel about that when you watched it, Tati? Did you notice the stark difference in the reactions to those two types of situations, which are very similar when you talk about physical contact and being uncomfortable?
Yeah, well, initially when I watched it, I wasn't necessarily thinking about episode 3 because I hadn't seen episode 3. But then at the conclusion of episode 3, I was like, so we are bringing guests to a party and grabbing asses on TV, and it feels like a real double standard right here that Giselle's talking about a situation where she was made to feel uncomfortable just off of a conversation, yet we're laughing at Ray.
That's why I walked into the camera. Not so much the camera. I wasn't concerned about the camera. I just didn't like how it looked on TV. I know Katie meant no harm, but it was important that I be present in that moment and excavate my husband out of that situation. And the stark difference in the two is very concerning to me because it's not sending a positive message. And I think, uncomfortable is uncomfortable. Even if Ray smiled, he wasn't expecting that, nor as his wife was I. So I think we have to be careful how we react when the shoe is on the other foot.
Okay, my next question is, again, about the party, episode 2. Is Robyn aware that, or is she aware at all of your relationship with Charrisse?
Let's be very clear. Someone invited her. I did not.
Was she bringing Charrisse to the party knowing that perhaps there was some bad blood there? Or was she totally clueless? Or what was happening there?
Robyn was absolutely being messy. That woman and I have not been friends for 5 years. But if I digress for a moment and think about it, did Robyn really know that I was not on speaking terms with Charrisse before she brought her to my party? The answer is yes. If we roll back the film, people, when we were at Wendy's baby shower, the girls were like, y'all need to talk. And I didn't need to talk. We weren't friends at that point. And I believe that would be almost 4 years ago. So Robyn was well aware that I was not friends with this woman. And for her to bring her to my party was fucked up. But I can be cordial with anybody. But this is not it doesn't put a good taste in my mouth. I thought Robyn and I were in a better place than that. And it was just absolutely rude.
Speaking of messy, and also just a really awkward and weird moment for me in the show was Jacqueline, Mia, and Gordon sitting at the table discussing your party.
Erin, did you feel like she was doing a CYA? The CYA?
I learned a new phrase, CYA. I had no idea. I had to Google that means cover your ass. Right. But Jacqueline insinuating that you were attempting to cover your ass by sending the text
The day of the event, while I'm on the way, she sends me a text message. What were you saying? She goes, "Hi, Mia. I know you're super busy. Just wanted to take this time to invite you to the party that I'm throwing. Love you. See you there." Translation, Mia, we've been talking shit about you all week, and I want you to know before you walk in here. Noted. Got it.
The text, which I would like to read because, you know, I zoomed in and I wanted to see what was going on here. I'm reading the text. "Hi, Mia. I know you're super busy. Wanted to take this time to invite you to my party. Wanted to give you a heads up. I had lunch with the girls at the picnic and they all expressed concerns and questions for your post. And I just want to share that with you in case they have questions." And then you proceed, Karen, to kind of give her an out. You tell her, "Please feel comfortable to say, look, I don't want to talk about it at the party. Or maybe we'll talk about it later. Or maybe we'll not talk about it.
Right.
I just wanted to give you a heads up." Okay, that concludes your text. And then she responds back and says, "Thank you. I appreciate your honesty and your friendship." Super weird that she then turns around and says that you're weird for giving her a heads up. I don't get that.
You don't get it, and I don't get it, and the viewers don't get it. I got so many messages about that. And, you know, my thing about that is, let me tell you, when I'm your friend, I'm your friend. And when Mia announced that she had a health concern, it was never my intention, nor did I ever question whether she was lying about such a major health concern. My first response was, what can I do to help? And to see her and Jacqueline and G sitting there, knowing that not only did I send that text, but Mia and I are truly friends, and we stayed on the phone prior to that. I just sent that text as a reminder to her that we had been out to lunch. These things were asked. This was not the first time Mia heard that when she read it to her friends, okay? To remind a friend who's going through a major health scare about cancer the day of, don't forget this. This is what I said to you. They're going to ask you questions. You don't have to answer them. I could not have been a better friend to Mia at that moment. And for her to sit down here with G and Jacqueline, yeah, that's a no for me.
Okay, I personally felt really bad for Robyn when Giselle told her business about the house being in her name and her husband or Juan not being on it. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you told your friend's business? Is that a forgivable kind of thing? Like, thoughts?
I'm just thinking, you are at a public event. The Giselle, listen, no one's off limits with Jizzy. Jizzy, look, if she don't have a storyline, Jizzy's gonna come for you. I'm sorry, Robyn, but I told your ass. I'm just saying. So I have never and would never betray my friend that way. This is a financial decision that could weigh heavily on whether Juan walks Robyn down the aisle or not. I'm just saying. It depends on how he swallows this, literally. But for Giselle to do that, that's betrayal at its best. Listen, that's not the only betrayal. Girl in the Green-Eyed Bandits camp, something's going on because Robyn decides to betray Giselle when it comes to Chris going into the bedroom.
I think I know what you're referencing.
Okay, well,
That's
am I putting the cart
3.
before the horse? You want me to slow down? I'm just saying, girl, there's a lot of betrayal going on in the Green-Eyed Bandits. I'm calling them the One-Eyed Bandits from now on. It is what it is. All right, I'll hold it up. I'll hold off. Go ahead, because I'm excited now. 3 episodes in. Okay, I got a lot to say. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's get into episode 3. Yes. Can you break down what eye candy is to you and Ray? Did you guys have a conversation about eye candy before your marriage began, or what's the eye candy thing about?
In our
like to
marriage,
flirt
in our
and-
marriage, you said that I could have eye
candy and all that
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
So, you okay with that?
Listen, Ray and I had a conversation about eye candy while we were dating, honey. And absolutely while we were married, before we were married, during the marriage, all of that. Eye candy is this rule that Ray and I apply in our marriage. And it works for us. And if it can work for you, hey, go ahead and copy it. It's not blueprinted only to Ray and I. But I think it's very unrealistic for couples to think that because we're married to one another, we can't appreciate the beauty of another man or another woman. As long as you don't touch them, you ain't blind. You can see. So Ray said, I can look, but I can't touch. And I say the same for him. Hence, when Katie put her hand on Ray's butt, I came right in there. I don't play that. We don't do touch. And Ray looked like he was enjoying it too, so.
Not having Ray over there. Oh, stop it. What the hell?
Listen, you are married to me. What happened to that? So no, you can look, but you can't touch. And the thing that saved him in that situation was Ray was not the one doing the touching. Because my man would not touch anybody.
She couldn't help herself, Karen. She couldn't help herself.
I know he fine, but Katie, I love you, but damn. No butt touching, Katie. No butt touching.
Okay, so for those of us that are going to be getting married, for those of us who have been divorced and remarrying the same guy, what do you think about the prenup situation? Is Robyn entitled to the prenup? How do you feel?
Look, the decision to have a prenup or get a prenup is individual, okay? I know that when Ray and I got married, I signed a prenup. I offered it. Not only did I sign it, I offered it because Ray was much more wealthier than I was at that moment, okay? And I wanted him to know that I was coming from a place of love and was not interested in anything he had. But he trumped me. He gave me something called the sunset clause in that. And it simply said that after 10 years of marriage, if we're still together and we're happy, this prenup is null and void. And we've been married 26, and that's that on that. So Robyn asking for a prenup, while I'm not feeling Robyn right now, I have to say, she's valid in asking for it. And Juan doesn't seem to be objecting to it.
You think he wasn't objecting? I kind of felt like when them cameras went off.
He went off. I think, his lot went on after the cameras. But Robyn asking for it is not a bad thing if that would make her comfortable. But I would suggest a sunset clause for anyone who's really planning truly to be with this man or woman for the rest of their lives. And 10 years is plenty enough time to find out whether that's true or not. Okay?
The most resounding thing about episode 3, the biggest topic, something that super duper surprised me about you, was you in Giselle rehashing this Chris made me uncomfortable in the hotel room at the reunion story.
I don't want to be in a closed room with a married man. I don't want to be put in the optics of cheating.
Chris made me feel completely uncomfortable. He's a sneaky link.
You want to say that my husband made you feel uncomfortable?
100%.
What is this?
I'm just telling you how it made me feel.
You said that Chris owed her an apology, and I really wasn't expecting that because to me it seems like a very obvious reach.
Well, let me say this. When Giselle came to my home, I'm listening to my frenemy of many, many years, okay? I have no reason to doubt what she's saying. And based upon that scenario, I said her scenario, that is, I said she deserved an apology.
So Ashley and Mia did share with me that you and Candace had a moment. What I heard was very disturbing. A comfort zone that does not exist for you where Chris is concerned. And
Correct.
Chris thinks that you're more comfortable than you are.
Correct.
Chris probably owes you an apology.
Thank you. And so that's my issue.
I'm watching this with you all, so I just saw Chris, Laura, a bombshell. He said that Giselle asked him into her room.
And I didn't even ask to go to her room. I said, Giselle, can we talk? And she said, yeah, let's go to my room.
That changes the whole scenario for me. I didn't know that. If I had known that, my approach would have been different.
So he comes up to me, he's like, can I talk to you? Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. He said, well, can we go to your room? Mm-hmm. Your room. My room. Okay.
The reason why I'm so passionate about this, my stance on this, is I am a survivor of rape. And one, I survived it. Two, I had a very touchy situation on RHOP 3 years ago where I was actually touched and made to feel uncomfortable.
So about that, can you elaborate on your YouTube for your subscribers? Like what is this?
The one thing I won't do is try and throw someone under the bus, because I said in episode 3, I went to my minister, I went to my husband, I went to my friends, I sought help. This particular person was Liddy. I feel like something like that, especially if I've lived with it for almost over 3 years, doesn't need to be brought up unless I'm threatened. Unless you come at me in a way that, I got no other recourse but to say, look, we're going to pivot and put the light on you because you're not perfect too. But I don't have that reason. And I haven't had that reason in 3.5 years, so why do it? But again, don't come at me. I love these girls, by the way. I genuinely do want the best for them. And so when Giselle says I love her, which is so funny, I don't think she really understands the meaning of that. Love doesn't mean I'm a wimp. It means I want to see everyone win. And if it's not necessary to share this story, I won't. But if I ever need to share it, I'll walk in my truth.
So Bravocon was this past weekend. I think you've answered all my questions. My only other question, I guess, would be about Bravocon. How was it? Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again?
Bravocon rock. Thank you all for coming out. I so enjoyed it, and I certainly would do it again. I enjoyed meeting each and every fan, and I thank you so much for the love and support.
Well, this was fun.
It was fun. I think we should do it again. Look, I will see you guys again on It's Karen Huger YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that button below, subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, please put them down there. I will respond to you. Until next time, mwah!